Hi, my name is Jill Prewitt. I'm with the Alaska Ocean Observing System, and I'm going to be talking about a data tool that we're developing for the planning, prevention, and response to a maritime incident in the Bering Strait. So to put us in geographical perspective, the Bering Strait is a narrow passageway that separates the Chukchi and the Bering Seas and has an international maritime border between Russia and the U.S. in Alaska. And with the decreases in sea ice extent that we've seen in this area, we've also seen increases in the number of vessel transits through the Bering Strait. So from 2010 to 2019, you can see a large increase in the number of vessels that pass through this area. And with this increase in vessel transits, this poses an increased risk of a maritime incident such as a disabled vessel or an oil spill. And this brings an increased need for planning, prevention, and response to an incident in the area. If there's an incident in U.S. waters, the U.S. NOAA and Coast Guard use the Emergency Response Management application, which contains a lot of information that helps coordinate and communicate amongst the responders. However, this is not fully available to the Russian responders. So there's a need for a tool to help them coordinate and communicate their response if there's an incident that crosses the maritime border. So we're working on developing this tool that will be accessible to Russian and U.S. responders and contain all the information that they would need for planning, prevention, and response. And these information include the biological resources such as fish species, marine mammals, seabirds in the area, particularly sensitive areas such as protected habitat, and also the infrastructure that's needed for the response. This is quite a sparsely populated area with not a lot of infrastructure, so it's crucial for those responders to be able to really identify quickly where that infrastructure is available for responding. We also have real-time weather observations, models of nowcasts and forecasts of wind, waves, and ocean circulation, and coastal video and imagery from the NOAA Shorezone program, where a helicopter flew the entire coastline of Alaska and allows responders to be able to see the coastline that they're dealing with in the event of an incident. For the next few slides, I have some examples of what the tool will look like. We have a hypothetical scenario set up with a potentially disabled vessel in the red triangle, and then day 1, 2, and 3 of an oil spill trajectory. And then we can add in the real-time surface currents. Then we'll go down and we'll add in the real-time weather observations. We're going to choose our variables from the drop box and choose wind, speed, and direction to pull up the nearby stations. Then we can go over and pull up those nearest observations that have the wind, speed, and direction. And you'll notice also a red circle in the top right corner. That's a share button that brings up a URL that can be emailed to all the incident responders in the middle of this scenario so that everybody is operating under the same data and information. In this slide, we now have skipped ahead to day 10 of our scenario where we have the oil spill projected to hit the coastline. And we can go and add in the NOAA charts into the background so that we have the bathymetry of the area. Then we're going to go and zoom into the coastline where the oil spill is projected to hit. We'll bring up the Shorezone video and imagery and hover over a point on the coastline, and that will bring up both the still images and the video of the coastline. We can blow that up and watch the video closer, and this will allow incident responders who are not familiar with the area to be able to see exactly what that coastline looks like and help them plan and prepare for responding to that incident. Now we've added a number of other layers of information with infrastructure that would be useful to the responders. We have potential places of refuge, which are places that are previously identified that a disabled vessel could go to. We have geographic response strategies, which are developed by the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation. And we can go and zoom into this area where the oil is projected to hit the coastline, and pull up all of the infrastructure data layers that we have so that the responders can take a look at, for example, what types of airports in the area, what types of response equipment might be already pre-staged in the area. And this is really helpful, again, to be able to share this information with all of the responders to coordinate that response. On this slide, we're still on day 10 of this scenario, but I've added in some of the biological resources data layers. We have spectacled eider critical habitat in the area, Pacific walrus haulouts that are nearby, and environmental sensitivity index that was developed by NOAA. So we're going to zoom in again to that shoreline where the oil is projected to hit the coastline, and then the responder can hover over those segments of the coastline and see what the sensitivity of this coastline might be. And this helps them, again, to prepare and respond, decide what type of infrastructure, what type of equipment they'll need to respond to the incident in this area. So that was a very quick overview, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Thanks.